What's going on, everybody? Welcome back with another video. So today we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a practice session. So I'm going to be answering some IELTS Part 3 questions. Now you guys often request a lot me giving some Part 3 model answers because you feel like, okay, maybe Part 1 is a little bit too easy, huh? So to get to it, the topic today is about giving advice. Okay, so I do have 4 questions here. Let's go through them. The first one is, should people prepare before giving advice? I think that's a brilliant idea because, a lot of the times people just like to basically throw out advice whenever they wish, right? And the problem with that is that if they don't have specialized knowledge in a certain aspect, and then you decide to give an advice, that may mean that people listening to your advice may follow through, and then they end up, receiving the consequences of whatever that may be, Let me give you an example, right? So I want to talk about, child caring. So basically now I'm having a 6-month-old child, and a lot of older people often rush to me to give him food, solid food, right? Because we call this a period called the weaning period. So that means the baby start to transition from drinking just milk to solid foods. And this is a very important milestone, right, in their development, but it involves a lot of risk. A baby can choke on food, which is very dangerous, even life-threatening in some situation. Now, that's why I always try to do, research before giving advice like this, because if you try to push the parents to give the solid food too early, let's say 4 months or 3 months, then it's a terrible idea, Okay, second question. Is it good to ask advice from strangers online? No. That's a big no. I don't see why you would ever do it. Although it's good to listen to them at some point, but I feel like they're strangers. They don't really know your background story. They don't even know who you are. So, listening to their advice is just not a good idea. Let me give you an example, right? So, whenever you ask a question on Facebook, you often see a lot of comments from people from, different parts of the world. They may have completely different life experiences, yeah? And the advice might just confuse you in general. Okay? So the best thing to do in these cases is ask family members for advice or a good friend, right? Who genuinely want the best for you, right? Question number 3. Okay, my screen just turned off. What are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others? Interesting. Personalities, eh? I guess you gotta be knowledgeable, yeah? And you need to be able to know a lot about what you're talking about, okay? Maybe even an expert on a certain topic before you're ready to give advice. Or you have had extensive experience on that matter, okay? Also, I want the people giving me advice to be a little bit cautious. Yeah, because when you're cautious, you realize that, okay, maybe I may not know everything, but I try to stick to the area that I'm knowledgeable in, yeah? And that's the kind of advice you should be giving, yeah? Don't ever say anything that you don't know too well, yeah? Question number 4. What are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? Yeah, the obvious problem is that you can get confused, right? Because people may have different or even conflicting opinions at some point, and when you start asking too many people at the same time, you don't even know which one to follow. So what should we do in these cases? You gotta ask someone who is an expert on a certain topic, I guess. So let's say I have a problem with my computer. What's the point of asking my family member for it, right? you should immediately go to the technician or the repair shop to see what the problem behind that is. Or if you want to improve your English, what is the point of asking your friend? You should be asking a teacher, right? Who has had 6 to 7 years of experience teaching or more, right? Then they can give you solid advice on how to improve your language skills. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. I mean, those are the 4 questions that I have for you guys today. Okay, not exactly the best answers I can give. Yeah, I do understand that. But again, it's about practice, I'm not trying to, prepare beforehand some complicated words to add to my answer. So should you, okay? Just to see if you can develop your idea using the knowledge that you already know. And then if you're stuck somewhere, then that's when you start doing research to extend your answer a little bit more. All right. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.